Welcome to the Enlightened Misfits podcast, the space for entrepreneurs on a quest for unwavering certainty and purpose. I'm your host, Lauren, and each episode is a compass guiding you through authentic conversations, unraveling the mysteries of your human design chart, and offering tools from the remarkable guest. Join me as we embark on a journey to manifest greatness and create a life aligned with our deepest purpose. This is the space where misfits find their enlightenment. Welcome to the Enlightened Misfits podcast. Welcome back to Enlightened Misfits podcast. I am your host, Lauren. And what I need you to first do is I need you to go subscribe to the podcast. If you're watching this over on YouTube, you can just subscribe to the YouTube. And then if you're watching this on any of your Apple Podcasts, Spotify, just make sure you subscribe and leave a review because that really helps out the podcast. And right now, when we're recording this is the 100th episode, and I could not have done this without all of the guests and their amazing networks, and also all of you that are listening. So I wanted to introduce in today's episode, I have Jesse. He is the founder of effortlessgrowth.co. I feel like that word sometimes always messes me up, but welcome. I'm so happy to have you here with us.
Thanks so much for having me, Lauren.
So tell us a little bit about who you are and how you help people. Tell us a little bit about your story and then how you help people.
Yeah, so my story is I've been an entrepreneur since I was 16 years old. And the first 10 years of my entrepreneurial journey were a lot different than my last nine. And the reason I say that is because the first 10 were spent stuck in what I call procrastination, like procrastination in disguise, which is perfectionism. And a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with this. We all have this idea that we need to know everything, we need every tool, we need every course, we need to overanalyze every single thing before we take action. That doesn't mean we never took action the first few years of my business, but when I finally got a decent mentor who really had to hammer it out of me that, like, look, action beats thinking about it. And he really had to program out of me this desire for getting everything perfect and everything right before launching or going to market. And that mentor was extremely valuable and influential in my life. And he helped me scale a business up to 8 figures. Uh, and it was an absolutely incredible journey. And so what I do is I help other entrepreneurs turn their procrastination into profit by just being able to execute on plans that they already have. There's so many entrepreneurs, they have so many ideas, but if they only took action on it, they would have so much more time, freedom, energy, and profit in their business.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about, I don't think when you just said this, I think I've dealt with a little bit of procrastination probably last week. And my own mentor was like, well, why aren't you doing it? And I was like, I don't know.
Mm.
I just don't feel like doing it. And it was more of like,
Mhm.
I'm tired. I'm doing other
Mhm.
things. I'm not maybe protecting my energy, or I'm doing other things that are productive, that are making money, but it's not in my business.
Mhm.
So tell
Mhm.
us a little bit about why procrastination can show up as perfectionism.
So the reason why is because, again, when it comes to energy, when it comes to time, when it comes to burnout or just not feeling motivated to get something done, a lot of that is because we think we need more time or more energy or more of whatever just to take that step in the right direction. But what I teach is how can I overcome all of these external motivating factors and how do I deal from it internally and make it so easy and so enjoyable to get started without burning out that it literally kills procrastination in its tracks.
And would you agree that like many people, or maybe it's just conditioning, that many people think like procrastination is just like being lazy? So like
Oh,
from your
absolutely.
perspective, what is really going on beneath the surface when it comes to
Yeah,
procrastination with entrepreneurs?
absolutely. Yeah, that's the biggest misconception is, I'm lazy, I'm unmotivated, I'm not disciplined, I don't have the willpower. It has nothing to do with any of those factors. In fact, studies from Harvard University actually shows it has a lot to do with emotional factors like fear of failure or, high standards, performance anxiety, perfectionism, lack of clarity, all of these other internal issues which prevent us from taking that step forward. And it especially shows up on really important things, especially as entrepreneurs. We don't have to clock in and clock out. We're not responsible to other people. And so this pressure and weight is on our shoulders to get things done. And we sometimes confuse being busy with being productive. I'm doing all this stuff, but is it really the important thing that's making a difference in my business or the high leverage activity that's going to make the most difference in my business?
Yeah. I to speak to a little bit about that last week, one of my clients, like we do collaborations sometimes, like obviously she pays me, but I said to her, "Can I just pay you for you to do the promotional piece of I like creating content sometimes,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
sometimes I'm just like I don't have the energy nor do I want to do it, and is what actually I will just like stop doing it, you know?" So I said, "Can I
Hmm.
actually pay you to do what I need you to do?" And she was like, "Sure." And I'm like,
Hmm.
I said to myself, I actually probably should share that with another one of my clients. But then when I had you knowing that I'm having you on the podcast, I'm like, I'm going to have this conversation and go tell my clients to go listen to it because I think that outsourcing, if you can, I mean, I understand a
Hmm.
lot of us can't outsource, but it's like,
Hmm.
I created from an idea that my old mentor had gave me. She was like, make a mentorship program and
Hmm.
collaborate that, like barter services that way. So you can
Hmm.
outsource everything that you want. So would you also agree that, outsourcing, if you can afford it, would
Hmm.
is a huge thing that people need to kind of start doing?
Ab- Absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot of other reasons why I'm not getting pulled towards wanting to do the thing. And sometimes it's because maybe I shouldn't be doing it at all. Maybe somebody else should be doing it that's more qualified for it or gets energy from doing it. And as entrepreneurs, we take on so many responsibility. We wear so many hats. We need to really figure out what's the highest value hat that I should be wearing that only I can do that actually energizes me and pulls me forward and not things that burn me out. Because if it's burning me out, there's something misaligned or there's someone else that might get energy from doing it, and that's the person that should be doing it for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and that's kind of like without realizing, I guess intuitively I might have known it or just subconsciously I might have known it,
Hmm.
but it was like I don't want to do this, but I know I needed to do it. And then I was like,
Hmm.
oh, maybe if I could just pay her to do it. And she's like, sure, I'll do it. And she's doing it. And it was like literally,
Absolutely.
why didn't I think about this last week when I was thinking about it for 3 days? Like, so I
Yep.
mean, I'm there too. And I feel like every level of my business, I feel like I deal with some type of procrastination or it's perfectionism, like I have to make
Mhm.
this perfect, I need to do this.
Mhm.
And then my mentor
Mhm.
is like, why aren't you doing it? And I'm like, I don't even have an excuse of why. I just haven't done it,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely. It's so common in all of us. So what I suggest is that molehill that we're turning into a mountain, we need to now take it and turn it into an anthill. We need to break it down into the little tiny little step so that we can build momentum and aren't as prevented from taking steps and taking actions. If the thing seems so important, it seems so overwhelming, I'm going to delay on implementing it. And the thing with procrastination is it multiplies, meaning the less I do it, the less I want to do it. And that motivation kind of fades and it becomes harder to overcome. So what I need to do is break it down to the easiest, smallest, little enjoyable step that I can do consistently over time is the absolute best way to build momentum and start moving forward.
Yeah. So, as you work with like many leaders, probably in procrastination and as it shows up in perfectionism, I feel like for me, how would that help you? Like, how do you help your clients like break out of that "I'll launch when it's perfect" mindset kind of thing?
Absolutely. So it's just a habit, and like any other habit, it can be trained. So I don't believe there's anything such as a good habit or bad habit. It's just a habit that gets you the result that you want or the result that you don't want. So if this habit is getting you the result of I delay getting started on things or I push things off, we just need to reprogram that habit. And the best way to do that is make it easy, make it enjoyable, and make sure I do it every single day.
Now, I know that you said that you've been an entrepreneur for many years. What kind of drove you into this niche of helping people with procrastination? Like, where were you before this, or do you have a story that you can share with us that got you there?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I was mentioning at the beginning, the first 10 years of my business career, I grew up in a home of my father was an absolute perfectionist, still is to this day. And he kind of trained me to say, okay, we need more training, we need more tools, we need more courses. And we went, 150,000 plus dollars in debt, accumulating all of this knowledge and only taking very little bit of action, or we would, and then we'd hit resistance and we'd jump ship, or we'd see that shiny object and we'd hop onto that one. So my journey to here and now being a procrastination coach for entrepreneurs has gone from all of my experience over the last 19 years as an entrepreneur, the first 10 being full of getting stuck, being a perfectionist, procrastinating, and all the stuff that came with it, to actually learning what true success looked like, building a successful business, and everything I learned from that mentor that actually taught me, look, there's only very few things that you should be focusing on that actually make a difference in business. And by focusing mainly on those instead of having everything perfect first is really the secret to launching a new business, growing a business, or being successful. And so I'm just trying to take the last 19 years of my experience and boil it into other entrepreneurs that may be struggling with, getting things done, taking action, or the projects that are in their back pocket that they know if they just took action on, they'd have a huge difference in their life and their business.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you for sharing that because I feel like there's moments I feel like in everybody, all of our journeys where procrastination is, I know I can speak for myself, but it's
Mm,
nearly costed me a lot of money. And I feel like if
mhm,
I would have probably talked to you before or just learned, I feel like maybe I just
mm,
needed to learn it the hard way, like
yeah.
everything, that
Mhm,
this would have costed me so much less money and I could have been focusing on what I actually like to do and where I could make a lot of money because I feel like the procrastination or just me being have to be perfect, that comes with stuff from my childhood, of
mhm,
if I'm not doing something, I'm lazy or,
mhm,
I would hear my mom's voice all the time, like, and
mhm,
I feel
mhm.
like understanding, no, I'm just tired and maybe I just need to go take a nap or maybe I just
That's
need to go
right.
out or something like that. I feel
Yeah.
like I could probably make so much more money. I mean, I don't know if you know much about human design or astrology, but for me, I'm a projector. So I actually make
Mm,
more money than I doing less than I do more. And I
yeah.
think for people
Yes.
listening are like, what the fuck? Like it's true. And I feel like a
Oh,
lot of us
absolutely.
are in our energy, regardless if you, whatever human design you are. Like I feel like
Yes.
the more that you're doing what you love and what lights you up, you're going to make a lot more money. Like this week and last week,
Absolutely.
I made a lot of money and I hardly did anything. But
Yes.
before I was doing stuff,
Mm,
right? Like I
right.
was consistently doing stuff, but just giving myself the space to like the podcast, like I
Yep.
love doing the podcast, but it does drain me sometimes, like when I'm
Mhm.
always on. So thank
Right.
you. Thank you for sharing that. So
Yeah,
talking
absolutely.
about a little bit of like misconceptions, because I feel like
Mm,
the entrepreneur space can be very glamorified with these people that
mm,
have huge, like, normal entrepreneurs like us, not ones that have huge businesses or huge
mm,
teams that they pay millions of dollars to promote,
right.
right? I feel like it's glamorized by working longer and harder. What is one of the
Mm.
biggest misconceptions about productivity that you see that when you work with entrepreneurs that's holding them back?
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest misconception is being busy equals being productive. They think more hours equals more output. And really, like you were saying, is actually, in my opinion, with everything, less is more because I have focused energy. Effort isn't output, focused effort is output. And each human being, we only have a limited amount of energy and focus that actually can make a difference. And I've applied this to every area of my life where I used to spend hours doing this, that, or the other thing. And I was wasting so much time and energy and not actually improving as much when I focused on the real things that moved the needle for just focused time every single day consistently. I saw more growth by doing way, way less.
Yeah, I love that focus energy. Yeah, because I mean it's true. I mean I can attest to that, and I feel like anybody listening could definitely attest to that. Just focusing on what they need to focus on versus like I need to make money. Like that's not, you
Mhm,
know, like
mhm,
that's I
mhm,
don't think that's gonna do much in your business. I mean, I've tried it, it
mhm. That's
doesn't.
right.
um, so getting back to like habits that scale, can you kind of share with us maybe like two to three, maybe even one that you would recommend somebody who wants to have sustainable output? Like what is a
Mhm.
habit that they can create?
The biggest habit that you could create is being consistent, meaning being able to do something every single day for an extended period of time. So many entrepreneurs, when we get the motivation, when we get the energy, we do a whole bunch and then we burn out and have to recharge. And that's not sustainable. It's not predictable. In fact, it's very unpredictable. So building the habit of how can I take, and this is what I walk through. I have a free procrastination to profit planner on my website. This is exactly the steps I walk through. So what is the least amount of time or energy I could spend focused in an enjoyable way that I could do every single day without burning out? So how can I strip that down to a real small and build this habit of, even if it's a few minutes a day, but building this proactive habit with the mindset of, I'm going to do this every single day over the long term, and I'm going to let the growth compound over time. Instead of having this habit of, I work hard when I feel like it, and I don't work hard when I don't feel like it.
Yeah, I love that so much. Um, Now, going back to what you just said about tell us where, I'll make sure this is also in the description box where you're watching this, but tell us where we can find this, like where we can find you. And are you on social media? I do know that you said that you do daily live Q&As. Where can people find you to kind of get into your world?
Absolutely. So I have a free guide for entrepreneurs called the Procrastination to Profit Planner. You can go to effortlessgrowth.co to get a copy of that. Once you put in your email address to join the list, you'll get invited to join my private Facebook group. And inside my Facebook group, every single day, I have a live Q&A inside my private Facebook group.
Awesome. And before we wrap up, is there, for one of like our listeners that maybe feel stuck in procrastination today when they're listening to this or whenever they're watching this on YouTube, what is one small actionable step that they can take right after this episode to start turning it around?
Yeah, absolutely. Grabbing that planner is just a simple fill in the blank. There's 4 questions on it. You just walk through and answer those questions, and it will literally help you get unstuck.
Well, thank you so much for all of your wisdom. And I know this episode is going to be very powerful because it's our 100th episode, but also because you shared a lot of wisdom. And I feel like a lot of people can resonate, including myself. I don't ever want to exclude myself in this. So if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with somebody that you feel that would gain knowledge from listening. Stay tuned for more captivating conversations in the future. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I will see you next week. Thank you for joining us on another enlightening episode on the Enlightened Misfits podcast. If you are a current or inspiring to be fempreneur, suffering from the fear of being seen and or feel very triggered when you're building your business, reach out to me at The Mermaid Light about my Rich and Resilient Biz Baddies. This is a collective text message Voxer support group designed to help you heal your triggers and turn imposter syndrome into bad bitch energy. If you resonate with our conversations and insight, don't forget to subscribe, rate the show, and leave a review. Your feedback fuels our mission. Remember, your journey to unwavering certainty and purpose is ongoing. So please make sure you stay connected with us on social media. Keep manifesting greatness in your life. Until next time, this is Lauren from the Enlightened Misfits podcast. Stay enlightened, stay inspired, and keep manifesting your extraordinary path.